What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Prime Sports Media. I'm back. I'm going to go through a variety of different issues on today's show. I hope everybody out there is doing well. Thank you, wherever you are, for watching this broadcast. Make sure that you do me the biggest favor. If you are watching me currently, watching this show, your show, by cellular phone, iPhone, iPad, tablet, desktop, laptop, whatever you've got, hit the button where it says share, and you can immediately share this into your your Twitter, or X as we call it, and you can immediately share this in your Facebook pages or any social media that you use. If you're a content creator yourself, you can share it in your community tab, because I'll thank you. So today, I want to get into a variety of issues. There are some key players, key formula to this team. You know, Travis Hunter is going to be on the hunt this year. I'm looking forward to what he brings to the table this year. I think we're going to see a much improved Travis Hunter from where he was last year. I think he'll be more comfortable. He's had a chance to, heal from injuries. People already project him as a #1 pick in the draft, or in the top 5, because he's a dual threat. This man can play, as you already know. I'm singing to the choir here. He can play both defensive back. He can play receiver, and hell, he could probably even give you some punt return. Because remember, the NFL is going to be introducing a new format on their punt return. And so you're going to see a lot of excitement out of that new format. And this young man right here, Travis Hunter, would fit perfectly into that format. So I'm going to be talking about him today as it relates to the key formula to their success, as well as no other than Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is a big key to the success that this team can have, okay? I'm also going to be going over, as you see on the ticker down there, I will be covering. I know I haven't been live in a little while, but when I do go live on this channel, you know I'm always going to give you a show packed full of information and goodies. I am going to go over, because there was an article that came out about the 3 important games for CU football this year. Games on the schedule that they cannot overlook. It's just easy wins. All right, I want to put this back up. I have said on this channel that I think that the schedule this year is not as tough as the schedule that they had in the Pac-12, simply because there were a lot of teams in the Pac-12 that were ranked teams in the nation. But there are some games that can be a sleeper. The North Dakota State game, don't assume that that's going to be an easy game for CU. That's the first game that they're playing of the season, but it does not mean that it's going to be an easy game. That's week 1. North Dakota, that's an FCS team. They do play very well in their stadium, but they're coming to CU. Another team that we should not sleep on is the Utah team. And I'm going to talk about that. They're going to have Utah is going to be a tough scratch in their schedule, because there's some that believe that some that believe that they will beat North Dakota. They could possibly definitely beat Nebraska, even though Nebraska has made improvements to their football team this year. Colorado State, we know, is going to be a grudge match, and I'm going to go over Jay Norvell. I think he just can't keep Coach Prime out of his mouth. He just has Coach Prime is in his head some way real bad there. I'm going to be talking about that issue. Let me put this back up here again. When you look at the schedule, you got Baylor. You would say, hey, that should be a win. You should say Oklahoma State, are they really going to be that good this year? So when you look at this schedule can lull you to sleep, because you could say, Arizona, none of these teams look like they scare you. But you really don't know until you play the games. But I believe in the process for CU and Coach Prime, and I believe that the team, because the team has been improved in the trenches between the lines, defense and offensive line, it is no doubt in my mind that they're going to be able to do some things that they could not do last year. I want to get back over here to Shedeur. So Shedeur makes up that key element. One, if they give him time, Shedeur can put up big numbers. He did not have time last year, as we already know. But if he has an improved offensive line, if this offensive line is what we think it's going to be, if they are what we think they're capable of being, if they are what we know, and that is an improved offensive line, Tyler Brown is back in the mix. Coach Phil has said that he has never seen a player so strong as Tyler Brown, even at the pro level. He said this right here, new Colorado football offensive lineman coach Phil has been around many massive human beings throughout his college, NFL, and coaching career. None, however, match up with the strength of Tyler Brown. That's recent statements by the position coach, Brother Phil, who has NFL experience. I've talked about that before on this channel. Here he is when he played with the Minnesota Vikings. I want to say this. I want to come back over here and say this. Another man that I don't want to sleep on, and I should have did an individual video about, is another young man that I think they feel is going to be NFL bound, meaning he's going to the NFL. He's got what it takes. He's going to be a top draft pick. Many are predicting. This young man, I'm going to put this up here, the NFL symbol. And that would be no other than BJ Green. BJ Green, and I'm going to get to him in today's presentation, what I feel he brings to the table. What's going on, Angel Eyes? Thank you for being here. Patricia, I see you. CC, thank you for coming over. What he brings to the table is a certain level of versatility on a defensive line, but I'm going to go into that because he's a key, meaning he's on the defensive line. One of the things that CU was not able to do last year was to get enough pressure on the quarterback to create havoc within the trenches. So now he brings them that element on top of the other young players on this team that will be on that defensive line. I feel like they have the defensive line now with the young men that have come over in the transfer portal. I feel that they have the ability where they can have a rotation, that they can rotate guys in and out and keep guys fresh throughout the game. Because when you look at the variety of defensive linemen that they have picked up, I'm hoping that Coach Robert Livingston, I hope within that 4-2-5, what's that package again? And I've talked about it, the 4-2-5, I'm correct, the 4-2-5 package. I'm hoping that within the 4-2-5 package that he wants to play on defense, that he will rotate defensive linemen in. Now, there's some guys that can play every down, and there's some guys who simply are not every down defensive linemen. And so I'm hoping that somehow they will be able to keep everyone fresh throughout the game to continue to have the opportunity to put pressure on the quarterback, which they did not have last season. I'm very confident about the process, everybody. You've got Travis. This is the key formula. You have Travis Hunter, who plays both offense and defense. He will man the secondary and create havoc. Then you have what is most important to any football team, and that is a starting quarterback who can make great things happen. We know that Shedeur can put up big numbers when given time. All we got to do is go back to the TCU game, and we witnessed with our own eyes what Shedeur was capable of. We know that if he's given time, he can read the defense, and he has the accuracy to get the football down the field. And he also has the ability, if necessary, to scramble away from pressure when necessary. But we don't want Shedeur scrambling around. We want Shedeur to be comfortable in that pocket so he can read the defense, read the keys. We want them to be able to play on downs that are like 2nd and 6. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. Therefore, his receiving core, his receivers, won't have to play what we call so deep behind the chains, meaning they can get into their routes a lot quicker when you put Shedeur Sanders in a situation where it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, opposed to 3rd and 20, 3rd and 15. Opposed to it being 2nd and 12. Because if you get a running game going with folks like Hayden that they just picked up from Ohio, you keep the defense on their toes with the play action, and that's what Pat Shermer likes to do, is keep defenses off guard, off balance by play action, playing that play action, a play action system that can be very successful if run efficiently and right. There's Coach Prime right there. He's on vacation. I want to talk about his vacation because he needs a vacation, because when the season starts, there ain't going to be no time to sit back and rest. There ain't going to be no time to get too comfortable in the eagle's nest. Coach Prime is going to have all cylinders on to focus on this year, because he knows that there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of haters out there that are saying negative things about him, and the haters out there are just waiting for Coach Prime to crash and burn. Do you all realize that there are a lot of people, and hit 7s in the chat room if you're with me, there are a lot of people who do not want to see Travis Hunter be successful. They don't want to see Shedeur Sanders be successful, because if they're successful, then what happens? Coach Prime is successful. And if Coach Prime is successful and those players, those key players are successful, like Travis Hunter, like Shedeur Sanders, and even like a BJ, this brother sacking people right here, like a BJ Green, then only the team gets better. The coach gets better and gets more confident in what he's doing as the head coach, and the position coaches feel more confident about the calls, the play calls that they're calling, the scheme that they're running. And now it snowballs like a snowball going down a mountain, where they're picking up momentum, they're picking up confidence in one another on the football team, and therefore the things that the critics and the naysayers are saying, they don't mean a damn squiddly dilly. You hear what I'm saying, y'all? Not a damn thing. This is the last year that Travis Hunter will be playing college football. I'm also very excited. This show today is a variety show because I'll be talking about different subjects. But I am very happy and pleased about Travis Hunter in this upcoming season, because I'm very excited about what he's capable of doing. Now, what I want to show you, because I know people have been talking about this, as you know, Travis Hunter as well as Shedeur Sanders are in the EA Sports video game. And everybody's been talking about that game. We've been waiting years. We've been waiting years for that game to come out. and has now hit the shelves. Let me show you something. I've got the game right in hand right here. Go out and get this game if you are a gamer and you like, playing video games, but you like particularly sports games. So there's the game right here. I've got the game. EA Sports, it's in the game. It's in the game. I haven't even, to be honest with you folks, I haven't even taken it out of the packaging yet. But I plan to play this game. And I've played it all the way back to 2014 when that was the last series. Travis Hunter, Colorado, the team, the ratings, everything is in the game. Some people believe that the ratings that they gave some of the players at CU were not proper. I think even Shedeur thinks his ratings should be better. They actually gave Travis Hunter, if I'm not mistaken, pretty decent ratings in this game. What I'm saying to you is that if the team wins, the players win, the coach is winning, the coaches are winning, and they're doing good things, this is what happens. The team gets attention. Players get attention. Players get recognition, and players become capable of getting to the NFL level if they're playing at a level that is suitable. Now, what I'm trying to do right now is find the actual thumbnail that I did have for this game, but I'm going to put this over here, and thank you all out there that are watching. Thank you, PGH, Big Dog. I appreciate you for coming on. Colorado offense is solid in the game, but the defense is yeah, right, because you got to remember, in the EA Sports game, they're not going with this year. They're going with last year's numbers. And last year's defense, we got to be honest, was not as good as we would have hoped them to be, right? Teams were able to run up the middle on them. Teams were able to, do some damage. So those ratings in this game on their defense reflects in that game. That's probably why you're experiencing that when you play the game. Hell, I should be getting a sponsorship from EA Sports, all this talk I've been saying about their game. But getting back to some things, I've got some video clips I'm going to show you all today that I think you're going to appreciate. That's going to be very exciting for us to go over and analyze, okay? We're going to react to a few video clips with Coach Prime saying some things about the upcoming season. Also, this is, once again, let me remind you, this is an area that I'm going to get to because both Travis Hunter and Shedeur and BJ Green, as you already know, or you should know, they were named to the all Big 12 media honors. 3 Buffaloes earned preseason media all Big 12 honors. We are about 1 week away from the Big 12 football media day, which we already had in Las Vegas. I'm just reading the capture here. And to get fans excited, the conference released its media preseason all Big 12 football team on that Tuesday, prior to them having that Tuesday that the media day opened up. So I'm going to get back to why they rated them, these guys, what they did. They're saying that Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders are the top players in the country. Some are saying that Shedeur Sanders is the top quarterback in college football right now and should be a high pick in the NFL draft. What do you say? Give your opinions in the chat room about what you have to say about that. I also, before I get into the meat of my content today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about something that has been an issue since day one that Coach Prime has stepped foot into CU from leaving Jackson State. The haters out there. The haters continue to hate. It's not just the haters and the trolls on YouTube who hate, but you've got people in mainstream media that hate, y'all. Mainstream media that can't stop talking about Shedeur or Coach Prime. They've always got something to say, but then they also contradict themselves. So you see, here is Coach Prime. Here is Paul Finebaum. If I'm saying that correct, Paul Finebaum. And if I said the last name incorrectly or pronunciated it a little bit off, come on, man, give me a little bit of a break here. I did say Paul. That is his name too, right? So Paul has come out, and this is a man who really is a SEC type of guy. This is a man who's been around for a very long time. Here he is when he used to have hair, y'all. Now he's got a bald head, frontal lobe. This is a man who really makes his bones talking about the Alabama, Crimson Tide. He follows SEC football, but particularly he's been the talking mouth of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And he's been a fixture on ESPN where he gives his opinions. Now, this week, these are the haters, y'all. These are the haters. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Over these weeks, Paul has put his foot in his mouth, out of his mouth, back in his mouth. He says on the one hand that Colorado and Shedeur, Colorado is CU is irrelevant. He criticized Shedeur for making the statements that he made at the media day, saying when Shedeur made the statement that we're everybody's Super Bowl, and he sort of said, well, no, you're not. You guys lost last year. You're not everybody's Super Bowl, Shedeur. The team is not relevant. Let me have some water here. I've got something that's bothering my throat. Hang on for a minute. Thank you. I don't want to cough into the mic, but it must be some dust or something that got in I don't know what it is. But I appreciate everybody bearing with me. So Paul said some I thought they were disparaging things that he said. So he goes on to say these things about, and let me just do this. Let's go into the reaction studio, y'all. Let's go into the reaction studio, okay? And let's play it. So Paul jumped out the window after Shedeur said these things. Let's hear what Shedeur said. Let's give a replay to this. Here we go, everybody.
In terms of him operating with a certain obligation, does that sort of flow over to you as his son and being in the spotlight, as you just answered, that it's a different level in how you feel you have to?
I hate to stop this, but I just want to give respect to Big Worm in the house and everybody in the chat room. Everybody is following the channel. We got what's going on? Crawling 25. What's going on? 25. I see you in there. And Barry, I see you saying, hello, friend. Hey, Joju still gonna commit to CU for sure. Let me explain something. Yeah, go ahead and explain why you think. I was gonna talk about Julian Lewis. I'm gonna get to this young man right here because I still think that there's a chance that they're gonna get him. So I'm gonna get back to this part of my presentation. We'll get back to the Julian situation because I also think that they could still get him. Let me move this back and start from the beginning and let you hear Shedeur again. Sorry about that, everybody. Let's go ahead and play this.
In terms of him operating with a certain obligation, does that sort of flow over to you as his son and being in the spotlight, as you just answered, that it's a different level in how you feel you have to perform? Do you have an obligation to perform at a different level?
It's been that since day one. I remember first media day when I was in HBCU, I said, well, we won't lose a game. I'm undefeated in the SWAC, so I already know what the expectation comes with. I know we're everybody's Super Bowl, so I'm really just, I always stay level-headed, stay grounded, because I would never want to be that guy, look back, and not being able to take advantage of the moment that we have right now.
All right. Do you understand? So I think you got to remember, Shedeur Sanders is a young player. He's youthful. He's going to say what's on his mind. And most youthful people, they say what's on their mind because they have confidence. He says that CU is everybody's Super Bowl. He's absolutely right, because there's a lot of coaches around the country who do not like hell, let me just say it. They may not like Shedeur because why? He's a son of Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and they don't like Coach Prime, and they know that both son and father are at the hip of each other. They hear Coach Prime saying how Shedeur will be a #1 pick, right? He'll be a top 5 pick. So there's coaches out there, maybe even players that are jealous of father and son combination here. There are those that don't like Coach Prime. They don't like his cockiness. They see him as cocky. They don't like his swagger because they don't have swagger themselves. They don't like how a program that hasn't won a national championship since the 90s is getting all this attention when they really haven't had a big-time winning record yet. And they're upset because they're saying, wait a minute, why is this team and this coach and these players taking the air out of the room when we got a good team over here? I get it. There's some jealousy. But Shedeur is right, because every team that plays them, they're going to go into the game with the goal of saying, let's beat Deion Sanders. Let's beat Shedeur. Let's beat CU. Let's shut them up. Let's tell everybody that they're not as good as everybody thinks they are. That becomes the reality. There are people out there that want to prove by beating them, it becomes almost like their championship. We witnessed it when they played against Oregon. Oregon had a good team, and they definitely they beat them. They blew them out. But even with Oregon having a good team that they had, which people thought they were going to be a potential for a national championship as well, even as good as Oregon as a team they still had a coach in there saying they're playing for clicks. We're playing to win. They got the cameras. All these coaches, no matter what the record is, they're going to hype the game up because it is Deion Sanders, and they want to have a notch on their belt to say, we beat Deion Sanders. We beat this team because this is the team everybody's focusing on, but they're not focusing on us, you see. So Paul Finebaum, in my opinion, is wrong in his estimate, and I'm going to play for you what he said right now. Just as a reminder, because this is the part of the show which I want to address the fact that there's haters. And while there's haters, Coach Prime still stays positive. I'm going to play you some footage of Coach Prime focusing on the motivation of where CU is today. But this man, Mr. Baldy himself, Paul Finebaum, whatever the hell, he talks out of one side of his mouth and then talks out of another. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So let's get to his statements here. This one I'm going to have to stop and give commentary to because of the fact that it's an ESPN broadcast, and we want to have fair use with the purpose of educating, news reporting, parody, and all those different things. So you want to have this done in the right way. So let's go to Finebaum. I will have to stop it every now and then, everybody, just so you know. And let's hear what he had to say.
Anyone asking whether Deion Sanders and Colorado are close to the playoffs simply doesn't understand the reality of the road. They're not going to the playoffs this year, and I'm not sure Deion Sanders is ever going to get them to the playoffs because
There it is. He says, anyone who thinks that CU will not make the playoffs does not understand the gravity of college football. The season hasn't even started, and Paul says out of it, Paul is already creating or trying to manufacture controversy. The team has made improvements. Their schedule although not as tough as the schedule they had in the Pac-12, it's still a schedule with teams that can definitely be competitive, and CU will have to watch out. But to say at the beginning, before you even see this team assembled as they are, as a starting lineup on both defense, offense, and special teams, before they've even played one damn game in their season, Paul is already making the statements that they cannot make the playoffs without them even playing any games yet. Can we please let them play some games, Paul? But then Paul turns around and says this, everybody.
I don't think he has the patience to stay at Colorado long enough. There's so many misconceptions.
He says he doesn't think that Coach Prime, why does everybody think they knows he doesn't think that Coach Prime has the patience to stay at CU, even though Coach Prime has told everybody time and time again that his desire is to stay there to see his mission come true, that he can build this team. This is only his second year, man. We know that it's a process. We know that it takes time to build a college program. Why can't you let the man just build his program and you already have him going out the door? Now, even if Coach Prime decides to go to another school, that's his decision to make. But to set up here and say, you don't think he has the patience. Coach Prime coached at the Truth Academy. He's coached in youth sports. He's coached at the very bottom level of football with youth, where you have to have patience. What are you talking about? Whenever you're dealing with youth, with young people, as Coach Prime has in his coaching academies, one of the things that you have to do is be patient with players. So this whole thing about he doesn't have the patience is not true, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me put up BJ Green. How many of you know, this has already been put out there, BJ Green played, if I'm not mistaken, he played for Coach Prime as a youth. So there's a relationship that Coach Prime has with, Coach Prime has proven that he has patience to work with youth, to work with the young men, to help build them up. You have to have patience. This is only his second year, and now everybody wants to say, oh, he won't have patience to stick around. Let's hear some more Paul. I call him Paul Bald. Paul Baldhead.
Exceptions out there. Deion Sanders is the best salesman I've ever seen. I personally love the guy and for what he stands for. But the program looking out has a ridiculously inflated view of itself. I heard Shedeur Sanders, who's a fabulous quarterback, say last week, we are everyone's Super Bowl. Shedeur, you are not. You are an easy win nowadays. You got off to a phenomenal start last year, beating a couple of mediocre teams that had big names. And quite frankly, you haven't done anything since other than crash and burn. So I know that
Does that sort of flow over to you as his son and being in the spotlight, as you just answered, that it's a different level in how you feel you have to perform? Do you have an obligation to perform at a different level?
It's been that since day one. I remember first media day when I was in HBCU, I said, well, we won't lose a game. I'm undefeated in the SWAC, so I already know what the expectation comes with. I know we're everybody's Super Bowl, so I'm really just, I always stay.
Media loves this story. We fall all over ourselves, but Colorado isn't important in college football. Deion Sanders, a standalone person. He's one of the most charismatic people.
Let me stop right here. What I didn't like about what Paul, I call him Bald now, is that he said, you're an easy win for everybody. Okay, last year, Shedeur was getting beat up because the offensive line was terrible, right? Shedeur took a lot of punishment, and he stuck it out there. So he's setting up here saying, well, you're an easy win. You're an easy win nowadays. What do you mean nowadays? Last year, they lost games. But what he's also failing to tell you is that every game that CU played in, and even Coach Prime can co-sign what I said because he did say this, every game that they played in, except for the Oregon game where they got blew out, every game they played in, they lost those games by a touchdown or a field goal. They did not get blown out by every team that they played last year. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about right now. Where is my, let me put this up here. Last year, Colorado gave Utah a test, and Colorado was a ranked team in the Pac-12, y'all. They were another team that people thought was going to make some noise nationally in terms of national championship hopeful, right? Ability. Last year, Colorado gave Utah a test, only losing by 6 points in the season final. But this time, the Utes will have a quarterback. They're going to get their quarterback back this year. If Colorado defense is anything like it was last year, then it's going to be a field day for Utah, right? But my point in bringing the Utah game up is that they lost to Utah by 6 points. What am I saying again? Most of the teams that they lost to last year were by a touchdown or 6 points or a field goal kick or maybe a touchdown. The team that actually blew them out all over the damn field, just blew them completely out, was Oregon. Colorado will be matched up against Utah this year in the Big 12, and Colorado has not defeated Utah since 2016. And a win in this year's matchup could give Coach Prime the biggest win of his career since coaching in college football when they match up. Utah is one of those teams I'm talking about that's a crucial, goes upon the three major games that could be a key game that they definitely need to win. So, Paul, sir, they weren't an easy win for everybody last year because every team that played them only beat them by a touchdown. Every team that they played did not even blow them out. Matter of fact, even the game against Heisman Trophy, Calvin, what's his name? The quarterback for USC last year, who's now in the NFL, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams went into CU, and CU was able to play with them, especially down the stretch. You saw Amarion Miller really coming alive in that game. And USC was leading the game, but eventually CU was coming back. And even in that game, CU only lost to USC by a point. And, of course, the clock was running out. So what the hell is Paul Finebaum? What is he talking about they were an easy win for everybody? Every team that played them, even though those teams were able to run the ball on them and stuff like that, every team that played them, they didn't just blow them out by 3 and 4 touchdowns. They just basically literally beat them by a touchdown. So that means that those games that they lost were games that CU could have very well won. Let's hear what old Baldy is saying again.
I know that the media loves this story. We fall all over ourselves. But Colorado isn't important in college football. Deion Sanders is.
Now, Deion is important, but the team and the players, they're important too because they're part of Coach Prime's program. They're all one and the same together. Now, Paul is a hypocrite, y'all, because when Deion took over CU and there was all this buzz and excitement about Coach Prime and CU, right? What did Paul do? Paul Finebaum jumped on the bandwagon like everybody else, especially after they won the TCU game, and he was singing Coach Prime's praises about how he was impacting the game of college football. Matter of fact, even on his own podcast, he said that he may be impacting recruiting, meaning he could create a situation in which it makes it difficult for other coaches to be able to recruit some of these black players. Paul was riding on that wave like everybody else, and now he wants to turn around and say a different thing, talking out of one side of his neck and then another side of his neck. Which is it, Paul? Which one is it? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? What's going on, everybody in the chat room? I appreciate everybody that's here. He says one thing but says another. Now, while Paul Finebaum says all of that, let's hear from my man RG3, who played in the NFL, played at Baylor. Let's hear him give a rebut to what was just said. Let's get his point of view on this, everybody. And here we go.
Shay, to answer your question, I think it depends on how long Deion Sanders stays at Colorado. If he's there for 5 years, I think he will eventually get them to the college football playoff. Now, to address some of that ether that Paul Finebaum just directed at Deion Sanders, Colorado is everybody's Super Bowl. The reason that they are the Super Bowl is because all eyes are on them. I still remember Dan Lanning telling his locker room that Colorado was there for clicks and they're there for wins, right? They knew that they went out there with a vengeance, and they did blow them out. But they played harder in that game than they played in any other game of the season.
Now, RG3 is breaking it down. He did not just say that. You had all these coaches, even before they played against Coach Prime, that were already talking crap, already telling their kids in the locker room, oh, they're playing for clicks, we're playing to win. So that tells you that these other coaches and players are going to get pumped up for CU. So in a way, it does become like their Super Bowl or their championship or their notch on their belt to say, hey, we want to be able to say that we beat CU, but we not only beat them, we really beat them. So RG3 is correct there. Paul is completely wrong. But I'm going to show you more of Paul's Finebaum, some more of his hypocrisy of the man. Let's get back to this right here.
So if Shedeur in his mind is saying, hey, Colorado is everyone's Super Bowl because they think they're so great, I can kind of see where Paul is going. But he's saying in the sense of everyone wants to beat them into the ground because they do have the number one quarterback in the nation. And they do have the number one wide receiver and cornerback in the nation in Travis Hunter. And they do have the biggest personality at the head coach position in Deion Sanders.
All right. What do you all think about that? What is your opinions about that? Do you agree with RG3 in his assessment? Right? But this is crazy. This is Paul Finebaum is a hypocrite. On the one hand, he talks about how Coach Prime, they're not going to win. It's overinflated. It's all hype. Coach Prime is just a salesman. He's a good pitch man. Look, Coach Prime has been who he has been since day one. The man has not changed who he is, how he operates. The man is professional. The man speaks his mind. The man brings a certain hype and energy to the program that was needed because this is a program that had no energy, had no infusion of confidence that they could win. This is a man that went into CU, cleaned this locker room out with players that were bringing their music and their boom boxes and their cell phones and weren't focused. And he had to change the landscape, and he got criticized for doing that by these same people in the media. Now, I want to put this up here because one of the things that I notice as that's the hypocrisy is that the people in the mainstream media, right? Colorado increased popularity. Some national media members, including ESPN Paul Finebaum and Stephen A. Smith, have spoken negatively about Coach Prime in the Buffs, while George responded by saying the Buffs aren't worried about that. That's the AG, the AD. The AD has had some good things to say about Coach Prime. There he is right there, Rick George. Deion Sanders continues to battle what do we call it, perception from haters as Colorado leaps to his defense. Who was that defense? As I said before, you had Colorado AD Rick George says there's a misconception about Deion Sanders. And let's put this right here. I think this is what the AD Rick George of Colorado had to say. I think there's a misconception about Coach Sanders. George said, if you know Coach Prime, he's an incredible individual. He's driven. He knows what it takes to be successful. He's hired a great staff, okay? What's going on, Sister Goddess, Coach Barry? Hit the likes, everybody. This video will probably get a lot more views after, I end the broadcast. But thank you for being here so far and doing the things that you do to make the channel go. Let me read this again, or just some of it. While George responded by saying that the Buffs aren't worried about other opinions, he agreed with assessments regarding the notion that many outsiders of Boulder have misunderstanding of Coach Prime's methods. Right. And Paul Finebaum is one of them. But remember, I said Paul at one point in time, he was drinking the Kool-Aid. He was drinking the drinks. He was drinking the Gatorade. He was doing the Deion shuffle. When Deion came there, he said it was a great hire. When Deion won some games and started to reshape some things, Paul jumped out the window and said, hey, Deion is transforming college football. But now he wants to reduce Coach Prime to just being a pitch man and that he's not transformational with how he's rebuilding this team and the image of how people see the team. But it's still because a young, youthful player and Shedeur Sanders spoke his mind and said, hey, I think we're everybody's Super Bowl because everybody's going to get up for them. He wants to criticize them. While he does all of that, folks, look at the hypocrisy of Paul Finebaum right now. Or Paul Finebaum. Let me let you hear the hypocrisy of this man right now. Here's another clip. Okay, play the clip.
Prime in Tinseltown, and I think you have one of the great combinations in history. We just got through talking about, or you did, LeBron. LeBron has owned that town as many others before him, and I think Deion Sanders, as the coach at Southern Cal, is the answer to the problems.
Boom! He's a hypocrite. Paul, you are a hypocrite. On the one hand, Paul, you say that Deion is just going to be impatient at CU and that he's going to bail on CU. On the one hand, you say that CU is irrelevant. If you're saying that CU is irrelevant, you're saying Coach Prime is irrelevant because he's the head coach. On the other hand, you say that Shedeur is saying everybody is their Super Bowl, and you criticize a young man about that when it's in fact true because everybody is playing up to beat them. Come on, Paul, which is it? Now you want to say, Paul, a week after saying the things you said before, that all of a sudden now, Paul, you're saying that Deion should be a good fit or should go to USC. Because you know why he's saying this, ladies and gentlemen? Because he doesn't like Rick Riley. He doesn't like the coach that's at USC, who's been getting a lot of criticism. Let me correct what I'm saying. We're talking about Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley, who's trying to recruit this young man, Juju, that we want to USC. We want him. I hope Coach Prime pulls him away. I'm talking to you on the megaphone right now for the purpose of where I'm going at right now on the show. We want Juju. Juju should sign with us. But Paul doesn't like Lincoln Riley. That's the correct name here. He doesn't like Lincoln Riley. So this is more of it's just like Dan Patrick said on his show, that this is just him using Deion Sanders indirectly because he really doesn't like Lincoln Riley, and he wants to see him out of the job. So now he throws Deion's name out there, But just a week ago, before saying these words, he was saying how Deion doesn't have patience. Deion Sanders would still have to have the same patience as a coach at USC that he has at CU. Yeah, you might be able to attract a lot of young men to USC because USC is a big brand. It's a big name. You're in Tinseltown or LA, as he said, but you still got to have patience to be able to win there. So what is it, Paul? You say that CU is irrelevant. Nobody there is relevant, just Coach Prime because he's a good salesman. But now you flip it and say, well, Coach Prime needs to be at US. I want him at USC. You must think he's a good coach if you want him at USC. Even though it's a town of stars and entertainers, you still got to coach. You still got to have X's and O's.
Prime in Tinseltown, and I think you have one of the great combinations in history. We just got through talking about, or you did, LeBron. LeBron has owned that town as many others before him, and I think Deion Sanders, as the coach at Southern Cal, is the answer to the problems. Prime in Tinseltown.
Woo, what do y'all think? What do y'all think, everybody, about what he just said? Make sure you give me comments. Please give me comments in the chat room and in the description and in the comment section of this video to give me your opinions and what you think about what's going on here. Why is Paul talking out both sides of his neck, everybody? Both sides of his neck. What do you think is going on here with Paul? I'm about to run you some gold news whenever you're ready. Good. Give me some good news. Hey, Coach Barry, if you got good news, let me know so I can start working on my video or my live stream to make the announcement on this channel live as well, Coach Barry. This is old news. What's old news? I'm giving John, I'm giving my show. If you read the description of the video, it's not just about this subject here. I'm talking about the haters of Coach Prime. And then I'm also going to be talking about the key players to the team. So the whole show isn't just about this. Yes, I used some clips from things that happened just a week ago. But the news about the USC, that's not old because he said that this week. That's I'm using context to what I'm going with the channel, sir. So don't come in and say, oh, this is old news. We can still dissect this news because the point is that you've got people who keep trying to this is what it is, everybody. These are called distractions. Coach Prime is trying to get ready for the upcoming season to get this team ready for play in the Big 12. And when you have people like this that come out of the woodworks and say this sort of stuff, it's a distraction. It's to get the team off focus, get Coach Prime off of focus, start having people in the media asking him questions about whether he's going to stay or not. You see what I mean? When he's got more to focus on than that, he's got a damn season he's got to play. He hasn't even played this whole full season that's coming up, and they already are throwing out the controversy about whether he's leaving or not. You see what they're doing? It's a distraction. It's to create a problem. That's why I played those clips to go, because this is where I'm going in my premise. Just like this man right here is a distraction. Jay Norvell. Remember him from last season when he sat up there and said, when you speak to people, you take your head off? Of course, he jumped out the window, as you already know, everybody, and had more to say about Coach Prime, and even had something to say about the numbers that Shedeur Sanders has put up. This man is jealous. This man is jealous, and Coach Prime is in his head rent-free. Rent-free. And have y'all forgotten that his wife had some nasty things to say about Shedeur because Shedeur didn't want to shake his hand because he didn't like what he said about his father? And when they met at that, 50-yard line in the middle of the field, I think Shedeur turned his back to him. His wife, Shedeur, acted like a B. You know what a B word is. Jay turned his back. Jay turned his back after trying to talk to his dad and held up his watch. So she's calling Shedeur Kim Norvell, the wife of Jay Norvell, is calling Shedeur a B. This was last year when she said that. But this man won't stop talking about Coach Prime or the team. And they're going to be playing in their Rocky Mountain Classic this year. That game is going to be off the hook. They're going to be playing that game at Colorado State with their crowd. I think that game will be electrifying. Jay just won't shut up his mouth, won't start talking about Coach Prime. Let's get back into the reaction studio and let me play this recent video when he was asked some questions. He just can't. Man, Jay, please stop talking about Coach Prime. Stop talking about CU. Worry about your own football team, man. You just can't get them. Coach Prime is living in your head rent-free. Check it out.
Colorado's quarterback is the all-time leading passer in Colorado history. He threw for 3,200 yards. So that means Braden's thrown for more yards than anybody in the Colorado program has ever thrown. I don't have any feelings for Deion Sanders. I really don't.
Stop right there. You see, that means Jaden has thrown for more yards than anybody. Man, why are you even talking about it? Once again, I think, he's jealous because his program's not getting any attention within the state that he shares with Coach Prime and CU. I said this in my other video in the past, that I think Jay is concerned about recruiting and how this impacts his recruiting and having to compete with Deion Sanders. This is what I said a year ago in one of my videos, y'all. Remember this? Because he knows that he's going to have to compete with Coach Prime when it comes to getting in-state recruits. So maybe he wants to say, hey, I'm going to stand up to Colorado because they're the bully and we're the small school. Man, Jay, you barked up the wrong tree with this. Listen to this bullshit.
My hat off and I took my glasses off and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me.
Okay. So that's where all this really comes from. Just as a reminder, this is where all this stuff is coming from, y'all. And here we go.
So that means Braden's thrown for more yards than anybody in the Colorado program has ever thrown. I don't have any feelings for Deion Sanders. I really don't. I don't think about Deion Sanders. No.
So, Jay, if you don't think about Deion Sanders, sir, I have a question. If you're not thinking about Deion Sanders, then why are you even talking about Deion Sanders? Why are you not just saying, hey, I want to focus on my team. I want to focus on the season and what we have to do. We will prepare ourselves for CU when we face them on our home turf. But why get into this banter about how you don't think about Deion Sanders, you don't really care, but yet you made a comparison between his son and I believe one of your players, maybe I think the guy might be your damn son. I don't know. You made a comparison as if it was getting under your skin because why? Because CU's getting attention in your backyard. Y'all share the same backyard and nobody's giving you attention. And you guys played a tough game and really tested CU last year. Even one of your players were dirty and took a dirty shot against Travis Hunter. Y'all remember that? So this stuff is interesting. I think he's got a personal problem with Coach Prime, which is why he said the things that he said in that I think that was the Mountain West media day where he spoke his mind there. So these are some of the people that they just can't keep Coach Prime out of their mouth, and they need to just leave the man out of their mouth. Coach Prime has already told us he doesn't start talking about these people. He's told us, I don't even talk about these people, but they can't stop talking about me for some reason. Now, let me get to the other part of the presentation today. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. Let me see what's going on. Coach Prime is, let me put this in the on the board here. So we've got Coach Barry, who's come in with some very interesting information here, and let's see what he's got going. He says CU has already offered Juju teammates, offensive lineman 4-star class 2026 scholarship months ago. Is currently committed to Alabama. Let me see. Lincoln Riley chased after quarterback Longstreet, 6'1", 5-star quarterback committed to Texas A&M class of 2025. He's losing faith in Juju signing. Oh, I see what you're saying. So because he's losing faith in Juju signing, he's thinking about going elsewhere to get a quarterback. I get it. Coach Barry says this. Another one of Juju's teammates, 6'2", 175-pound 4-star cornerback. His name is Sherma. I can't make that out. Class of 2025 offered a scholarship from Coach Prime. I'll be looking into that. Thank you. Let's see another. Let me see. Juju. Last weekend, it was said that Juju was seen out with friends wearing a Colorado hat. He's been sporting CU gear ever since he visited on June 21st. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Believe me, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, everybody. Let's see. I know about the burger situation. Coach Prime hooked Juju up with a top Colorado burger restaurant named The Sink. Honored Juju reception pass burger. Yeah, NIL value. Interesting. And let me go right here. Rapper Travis Scott company Jack signed Juju to an NIL deal. Oh, I get it because he's connected to Coach Prime. His upcoming collaboration album with Travis Scott with 20 songs. Okay. I think that's all great. I look forward to it. I'm looking forward to how it all can work out. So let me do this because I don't want to keep you guys here all day. I appreciate everybody that's come over to watch the program so far. We're talking about CU. The key guys would be Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, and BJ Green on the defensive side. The one that I'm really excited about because I've been hearing some good things. You can see when you look at well-off media, and you look at what he's doing in practice, it is true that he is the truth, and we're going to be in for a treat. Okay, let's look at Coach Prime and how motivated Coach Prime is for the season, and what the season is going to be bringing. So let's go into here. Let's go back to the reaction studio right now and check out Coach Prime for the moment. And here we go.
As far as the focus and intention, I think ever since I stepped into Florida State in '85, it's been like that for me. This ain't new to me. I'm not new to this. Like we say in the hood, I'm true to this. So this is new to some of you all, and you want us to change. We're not going to change. We're going to try to do things being smart, tough, fast, disciplined, with character.
I like what Coach Prime says here about being smart, fast, having character. I like the fact that he's not allowing the media and the haters and everybody out there to change him away from what his philosophies are for this football team. Let's continue.
That's what we're relaying to.
This was at the Big 12 Media Day, everybody.
All our young men. But the cameras and the lights, I think, I haven't seen one kid here today that said he didn't like that. He may not like the process, but he likes the package that you wrap him up in and you put him out there. All these kids are excited about the EA Sports game, right?
Right. They are. I've got the game right here. It's in the game. Right there. I'm excited about it too.
Their scores and their levels, they want attention. They want affection. They want love. They want adoration. Adulation, I'm sorry. Yeah, we give you that. But you got to work first. So you
Now, you hear what Coach Prime was saying there, that part of being on a football team is that we're going to give you attention, but you got to work for it. And this is one of the things that people said about Kamani McLean, that he was not doing well in terms of practice and study and what have you. And we've been hearing some things about him at Florida. But if you're going to play for Coach Prime and think you're going to get out there on the field, you've got to give a commitment. And that's the kind of players he wants in his program. Committed players.
can understand the consistency thereof. It's going to take you to where you want to go and retire mom and dad, if that's what you please.
All right. Let's go ahead and do this right here. Let's go into another, I want to go into another video. I want to break this down right here. So, as I said, quarterback Shedeur Sanders, cornerback wide receiver Travis Hunter, and defensive lineman B.J. Green were the three Colorado Buffaloes who players who made the team, the all Big 12 media team. Sanders has routinely been rated as one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And while Big 12 has talent at the position, the seniors got the nod. Hitting into his likely final college season, Sanders could go down as an all-time great for the Buffs. I think that's what's going to happen, y'all. He could go down as that, especially if he puts big numbers up. And I do mean big numbers. Let's go into another area right here. Let's go into this area right here. Let's go Travis Hunter. Hunter was voted to the team as a defensive back, but could have gained votes as a wide receiver. The two-way star was also recognized as the preseason defensive player of the year. He's one of the key players here. So that's fantastic. We already know what he can do. We know what he can do, everybody. Let's go here with my man, B.J. Green. Now, what's great about B.J. Green, everybody, is that he's a versatile guy, right? He can play many positions along the defensive line. The hype surrounding Green is only growing ahead of the first season with the Buffs. Playing his first 3 college seasons with Arizona State Sun Devils, Green has shown the ability to rush from multiple spots on the line while creating havoc to opposing offensive backfields. In the Big 12 preseason media poll, Colorado was picked to finish 11th in the conference, but we'll see what's going to happen. Believe in the process. Believe in the process. Now, let's hear what Coach Prime had to say about B.J. Green when he was at the media day. I think this is very important that we hear this little part right here, because I think it's really good stuff here. And let's go ahead, because Coach Prime had some pretty good things to say about B.J. Green. A defensive lineman that can play all over in different spots on the defensive line, put pressure on the quarterback. That's exactly what we need. We need him to be doing this to quarterbacks. That's him playing against Colorado probably before Coach Prime even got to CU. And that's what we need. We need this man to be knocking some heads around and putting some pressure out there. Check this out. What's what Coach Prime had to say about B.J. Green.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
You go, girl. I know you.
Nikki Edwards, Hughes Sports Report. We talked during spring and throughout last season the importance on stopping the run. You look at a guy like B.J. Green in your defensive line.
Yeah.
How is he going to be a leader in achieving that goal?
B.J. Green is already a leader. Do you know that B.J. Green played for me when he was 5 through 7 years old with Truth in Dallas, South Dallas?
Once again, I had said this earlier in the program today, that Coach Prime, when Paul Finebaum makes a statement about Coach Prime not being a patient man, that's bullshit. When you're working with kids and you're mentoring kids and you're working with kids in sports, it takes patience. And he has the ability to do so because he has sons. He has kids. Coach Prime said he's been working with B.J. Green ever since he was 5 years old in youth sports when he had the Truth Academy. So this whole thing about Coach Prime doesn't have patience and all of that, that's BS. You cannot get to the level that Coach Prime has gotten to in his career in football on and off the field and not be a man that has some level of patience. That's just nonsense. Let's continue.
Dallas. So he's been a part of my life for a long time, and they raised him right at Arizona State, and for him to come over now, it's phenomenal. His work ethic, the way he approaches and attacks the game, it's phenomenal. His want, his desire, his will. I just got finished doing the interview, and they say, well, you have 2 young men that are projected probably to be the top 5 picks. I said, yeah, but we want 4 in the first round. And the only way that's going to happen is we win.
All right. He's talking about B.J. Green. B.J. Green is projected to be a top pick in the draft. He's been working with B.J. Green since he was a youth. And so you don't work with young men that long if you don't have patience. So Paul Finebaum, I just wish he would go somewhere with that. This is crazy, y'all. Coming out of the reaction studio right now. Let's go back to the other set here, and here we go. So let me go. This is the area that I want to talk about. These are some key areas, and I put this up before about the key. Let me put this ticker back up here. 3 important games for CU football 2024. So what are those key football games that they're going to have to watch out for this year? Believe it or not, and I said this before, and I'm going to put this back up here again. Week 1, North Dakota State. This may be an easy game on the schedule, and it is odd to have an FCS opponent make this list. But this game will set the tone for the whole season. North Dakota State is no joke, and they are arguably the best football program in the FCS level, okay? Talent-wise, Colorado is better, but could very well see them overlook this football. Now, I don't think they're going to overlook any team, all right? But, yes, it may look like an easy win, and they're going to play them August 29th. It may look like an easy win, but I don't want them to sleep on this team or sleep on this game. This is one of those sneaky games where you can say, hey, they should be able to beat an FCS team. Easy, no doubt. But no, I think you shouldn't take any team lightly, and that's a key game that they need to win, because that starts off the season with a 1-0 record to give them momentum into going into the next game, in which that next game they'll be playing against a team like Nebraska. That North Dakota State game should be a tune-up game where they go out there and they play out. They play hard to prepare themselves for the next game, which is Nebraska, because Nebraska has made improvements to their football team from last year's team that they beat. So let's keep that in mind. Next one I want to put up here is I want to put up this one right here. Week 2. Once again, what did I just say? Week 2, Nebraska, September 7th. If they win Week 1, this will be a real test where the Buffalo stand. If they lose Week 1, it will serve as a nice bounce-back spot for CU. No matter what, this rivalry game between two programs looks to get back to where they once were in situations in the past, everybody. So these clips that I put up is from an article looking at how CU schedule, how there's certain key games that they definitely need to win and should not lose. Here's another one right here. Week 12 against Utah, that's November the 16th. The matchup between two former Pac-12 members is the toughest game on the schedule for the Buffs. This game is not the most important, but just because it is in the toughest, but also because of the outside circumstances that will likely surround this game. So that's something we got to look for as well. And like I said earlier in this broadcast, last year Colorado gave Utah a test, only losing by 6 points in the season final. But this time the Utes have their quarterback who's back for this season. So CU is definitely going to have to be on their P's and Q's when they play against Utah, everybody. Thank you for everybody for coming over. I'm almost through the presentation. I've got a nice part of the presentation that I think you're going to appreciate that I want to go into right now. So my position is that anything is possible for us to get Julian Lewis. Anything is possible for us to get this young man. And I think if Coach Prime is still recruiting him and he's recruiting the young men that played in high school or attempting to recruit young men that have played in the same team with Juju, if he's got people in his ear, if we're hearing rumors, as Coach Barry said, that this young man is wearing a CU gear, that he's got CU on the brain, then there's a chance that he may sign with CU, especially if Lincoln Riley is getting tired of waiting for him to commit, and now Lincoln Riley is looking at other quarterbacks. Come on home, come on to CU, sign with us. This will be a great transition from Shedeur Sanders, right? From Shedeur Sanders getting ready to leave for the NFL to getting this young man right here. I think it would be fantastic.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Okay? Now, I want to talk about this particular issue right here. I want to talk about Coach Prime. He's on vacation right now, so let's put this up right now. I said this earlier in the show. The man is on vacation. He deserves a vacation because once this season starts, it's going to be hell to pay because there's going to be a lot of pressure that CU wins. You know, the haters are ready to say whatever they're going to say. So it's definitely cool for him to relax, to unwind, and get ready for the upcoming season, get his mind right, get his everything right mentally, emotionally. Here's another picture of Coach Prime enjoying his vacation. This is fantastic. Okay? He's out there in, what's that, Los Cabos, Mexico, or something like that, I believe. He's out there in Mexico enjoying the ocean and the sand, and the brother's just having a great time. He's just having a great time out there. I think it's fantastic. You see him right here taking a picture. Here's another one. This is off his Instagram right there. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. And his son, Deion Sanders Jr. from Well Off Media, he contacted his father to see how he was doing on his vacation time. And let me let y'all see this for yourself. They having a good time out there. He's having a good time. Check this out, everybody.
Man, this is so beautiful. I can't talk to y'all right now, but hold on for a second.
It looked like you in the same room I was in.
Oh, you stayed there before, Shedeur.
I did everything that's vacation new to him. I done did it. Because, you know, you on your little vacation, same room, I done had that.
I was supposed to get my feet rubbed right there at like 5 o'clock.
Dang.
On that third floor, it's a bathroom on that third floor. I took a dump right in that toilet.
Yeah, I went up there. They had a real band up there playing for me when I walked out there. I have goldfish swimming in the pool up top. Real goldfish.
I just know that jacuzzi up top, I peed in that.
So, hey, I don't know. Not the steak tonight. I take the lobster. Yeah. What y'all say?
Oh, you had to pick which one?
What's
I can serve and turn.
Ooh.
That's cool, no. It's nice, man. You know what, man? I may just go out there, I'm going to go for a jog right now. That's why I'm dressed like this.
Oh, okay.
Go for a jog right here, you know. Just
take the route by the pool. You know, I ran that route before. Just run the same route.
Hold on. Hold on. New Edition was about to play. No, I'll be back in a minute, fella.
Bro got live in person.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, though, man. You know, it's good talking to my kids, man. You know, it's good talking to y'all, man. Up under these conditions. I'm gonna go for a jog, though, man.
All right. All right.
I opened the carriage, just let my feet touch the ground, but I said, no, I need to get some work.
All right, y'all. There it is. So Coach Prime is on vacation. He definitely needs that vacation because once things get going in August, He ain't gonna have time for no vacations. He's gonna have to be locked into the season, locked into the game plan, locked into motivating these young men, making sure that they're right. They got their head on right. They can execute the game plan. They understand their playbooks, and they feel confident, strong, intelligent to go out there and make history and make things happen. I truly believe that this will be a better season for CU than last year's season, because I think that the players on the team are a little bit better than what they were last year, particularly between the trenches, the offensive line, the defensive line. Once again, Shedeur Sanders should be able to be effective this year, more effective than he was last year, because now if he has an offensive line that can truly give him the protection that he needs, now he'll have more time to read the defense, read the keys, get the ball to his receivers, right? And be in a situation where he's not playing so behind the chains that he has to wait for his receivers to get deeper into their routes because they can't run the ball, to keep the defense honest, to keep balance, a balanced play, balanced offense. And I believe Pat Shermer is going to bring balance to what they need to do. I believe he's bringing balance, y'all. I don't know what y'all believe, but I believe he's going to bring balance to their offense. Okay? That was Sanders Jr. that was on his phone talking to his father. I guess they were talking by way of Instagram, and you had Shedeur on there laughing at him, talking about, you in the same hotel that I was in. I took a dump in one of those bathrooms. Okay? Let me put this up here, too. I wanted to say this. I know Skip Bayless has been fired from, or is going to be no longer on, the Undisputed program that he has. I guess the ratings are bad. Him and Shannon got into some things a few years ago, and looks like they're taking, Skip Bayless off the air eventually. But Skip Bayless had these things to say about Shedeur. And he said this: he's not just the best quarterback in the Big 12 conference, but he's the best quarterback in the country. Skip Bayless on Shedeur Sanders. So I think that was fantastic what he had to say there. Everybody, I'm about to get ready to get out of here. Share this video. So like I said, I just did a breakdown. We went over the haters, the critics of Coach Prime, but also went over the positive side of Coach Prime. And he is motivated. He is focused. The team is focused. He's on a vacation right now out there in Mexico. So let's wish him well in his vacation time, because he needs it to get ready, get his mind and body ready for the upcoming season. The season is coming very soon. And like I did last year, I will be doing post-game videos about each game that they play. I might even do some videos where when the game is being played live, I might pipe in the audio and I might talk back and forth with people about how the game is going. So there's a lot of different things that we want to do with the channel over here. Really appreciate you all that are supporting this channel. Let me say this again. I think it's important that I say this, and I want to let you all know how important you all, and I want to thank you for supporting the channel, okay? And what I want to do is I want to flip this. And where is, oh, here we go. I want to say right now, I want to say thank you for watching. I want to say like and comment on this video when you get a chance. Subscribe to the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. Share this in your social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever social media you got, everybody. Please share the video. It helps the channel to grow. It helps for people to find my channel and for it to be discoverable. And if you want me to continue doing videos like this, definitely like the video. And I'm going to continue doing more videos. I will be back with another video very soon. But definitely enjoy this video for now. I thank you. Everyone that watches the replay, much respect to you. And thank you again. I want to shout out Big Dog Chico on because I know me and Big Dog Chico, I gotta call him so that we can do something. I know it's been a while since we've done something together. Dave Talk Buffs. There's a bunch of other people out there that I just want to say peace and respect to all the content creators who cover issues around the team, the coaches, the players, and what have you. Kudos to all of you. And with that said, everybody, y'all take care. Peace. Peace.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.